Our breaking news coverage continues, and the voting is beginning, and both sides are fighting to the end, actually to the bitter end. The question is, who has the votes? Join us live is Republican Congressman Mike Pence. He is chairman of the House Republican Conference. And Congressman, I want to first go to your words earlier today. You say we'll use every means at our disposal to stop this. What are your means at your disposal?
Well, they're very limited under the procedures that Democrats have brought this bill to the floor, but Republicans are taking our case to the American people. We're taking our case to the floor. We brought a variety of motions. Members are headed to the floor now. We don't believe this is over. We believe that this is not the president's house. This is not the speaker's house. This is the people's house. And the American people don't want a government takeover of health care, Greta.
I know we've been watching the number count, and it's hard to figure out what is, and it's possible people will change votes. Right. But certainly, Congressman Bart Stupak's press conference a short time ago and the interview he just did with us must be disheartening to you.
Well, it is disappointing to see members of Congress exchange 30 years of pro-life law for a piece of paper from the most pro-abortion president in American history. But we're going to stay in this fight. We really believe the American public knows now that there is public funding for abortion in this bill. You know, I'd cite my colleague Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who said on television today, quote, "An executive order cannot change the law," close quote. And she's right. I don't think the American people are going to be fooled by this. I think the fact that the president is signing some piece of paper, an executive order that would be thrown out by the courts if it contradicted the statutory language of the law, I don't think the American people are going to be fooled. The way we can prevent now public funding of abortion is by rejecting this legislation and starting over immediately with the kind of legislation that will respect the common sense and the common values of the American people.
Is the abortion issue, though, a separate issue from the health care bill at this point? Does this mean, is this bill going onward to the president's desk? Is this going to be a signed deal, or is this abortion language still something that could thwart the passage of the bill?
Well, look, I believe it is still something that could thwart the passage of the bill. We're disappointed that Congressman Stupak has exchanged 30 years of pro-life protections in the law for a piece of paper from the most pro-abortion president in American history. But he's not the only so-called pro-life Democrat in Congress. I think members of Congress are going to be hearing from their constituents in the coming hours. I think they know that wherever the American people are on the question of abortion, the overwhelming majority of this country opposes public funds for abortion. And now, you know, it seems to me, Greta, that the president signing this executive order is a tacit admission that this bill does provide public funding for abortion. Why else would the president be signing an executive order? But as you know, being one of the great legal minds in the country, if a court is faced with statutory law versus an executive order, that's not even a close call. An executive order has all the force of a resolution expressing the sense of Congress. Debbie Wasserman order cannot change the law. She's right. Nobody's going to be fooled by this, and I'm hoping our pro-life Democrat colleagues will reject this political ploy and stand with us for opposition to the public funding of abortion.
Congressman, we were on Capitol Hill earlier today, weaving our way through the protests on both sides of the issue. The Democrats were meeting on the House side, but we ran into a bunch of Republican congressmen who were making their way over to the Senate. What was going on with the Republican congressmen over at the Senate? Some planning?
You bet. We met in our conference this morning in the Mansfield room on the Senate side. We had a moment of prayer. We got information on the debate today, but more than anything else, our Republican leader said that we've won the argument. Now we got to go win the vote. I mean, the American people are on our side. We know they are. Not just the throngs of people in Washington, but all over this country. They don't want a government takeover of health care, and Republicans are on the side of the American people in this fight.
Congressman, thank you.